First, let's give Bob a big hand. Bob and I have worked together through county council, through county government, through its formation. He became a good friend, and then he went and moved on to California on it. So I had to find a way to bring him back. So I'm glad he's here. And I'll share with you, Bob mentioned vision. Many of you may know I'm a funeral director by profession. And one thing that has always impacted me is I hate to see young people pass, and to see the children, young people out there in the world doing things they shouldn't be doing, and many times they can end up down in my funeral home. I've had friends, high school age friends who I've lost, friends who've gone to jail, friends are still out there now, out in the world. And when this opportunity came, I said, this is a chance to do something special. And I called Bob, and he explained everything, all the details of how the program worked, and I said, this is great. We're going to make this happen. So that's why we're here today. We don't want our children going off track. We should be there to be a resource and support to the families, to the parents, the mothers and the fathers, who I just light up when I see how this has touched their lives. So I've really been working hard to make sure my colleagues understand how important this program is. And they're getting it. They get it. So I'm just glad. I want to be able to step aside and let Bob continue to do what he's doing and let you all do what you're doing. Because without you, this doesn't work. This is a vehicle and an opportunity for you to use this to do something positive. It's an urban agenda. It's a safety agenda throughout our communities. And it's a way of just helping our children to be more model citizens and reach their true potential. High School Student of the Month, we salute Patrick for his outstanding achievements and commitment to education, excellence, and sincerely hope that Patrick will maintain this high standard in all future endeavors.
Hear, hear.
All right, Patrick. Off your habits,
yeah.
So you might need a judge.
I saw Bob posting a whole lot on Facebook about this program, and I had actually saw him when we both worked in Cleveland schools. And I believe in this program. There are no boundaries. There's no Warrensville. There's no Maple. There's no Garfield. There's our kids, and that's why I'm so much behind this program. And I'm looking forward to Bob and liaisons coming to Columbus to our Black Caucus Scholarship Dinner. We try to support students and give them scholarships once they graduate. And so I just think this is just a wonderful program, and we're going to continue to support Bob and move forward in educating our kids. So thank you.
He doesn't know I'm about to call his name, and probably she doesn't either, but if I could have these two persons come forward, partners in the community, partners that provide a wealth of wraparound, a wealth of engagement, a wealth of resources to our families, to our parents. That's Ms. Lavelle Custer, CEO of Murders Taylor, and my dear upward bound, way back from the 10th grade buddy. I'm not going to say her nickname, but the new director of Big Brothers and Big Sisters of Greater Cleveland, Yolanda Armstrong.
This is my third week as the president and CEO of Big Brothers and Big Sisters, and my staff is here to tell you I have a lot of great ideas that I plan to put in place in working with so many people in Cuyahoga County. We're looking to be able to provide not just mentors, but we're looking at bringing back majority of our African American males, placing them in a role where they've always been, but a lot of people didn't know about it. And that's making sure that they can mentor our young African American boys as well as our Hispanic boys. So I'm looking for this partnership with the Promise and with all of you, because it's so important that we're the keeper of our brothers. We're the keeper of our young people. And if we don't stand in place and fill in the gap when parents are not able to do that to help them move forward, then who else would do that? Brother Purnell just mentioned about what happens to some of our young people when he sees them in the funeral home. Well, I like to stop that. I like to end that. I like to see where those who are in leadership positions and those who are thinking to become leaders, that we're placed in the lives of our young people to inspire them, to motivate them, to educate them, and to help them move forward, because they can become productive citizens, and they need to know they are valued. And so giving them that sense of hope and knowing that we have programs like this is why I think this is important on this day, that even if the parents aren't here, that we need to take the message out to all of our parents that we're here to support our young people. I could go on forever. I am very talkative, so I'm going to stop.
Yolanda and Bob, for many years, as a matter of fact, I think it may have been 2 years ago or maybe a year and a half ago that Bob called me. He was still in California to tell me about the program, and he began to sell me on the program. And I just stopped him and said, I know about the program, and I know if you're telling me that you're going to bring it back to Cleveland, it's something that's going to be worthwhile, and we're in it. And Murtis Taylor is very pleased to be a part of the project and provide and wrap the services that we have to offer around the students and families here in Warrensville, and specifically to design new programs, not to stop and say what we currently have is what Warrensville needs, but to sit down with the families and the students in Warrensville and say, what do you need, and what can we provide, and how can we design these programs and services to address those needs. So I'm looking forward to the continued partnership, and I know as long as you're involved, Bob, it's going to be a success.
So I'm urging you to please, 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 make sure you exercise your right to vote. People died and gave blood. We're just asking you to give a little bit of time and a little bit of faith. Thank you.
Cuyahoga County, these dollars, these resources, these efforts, this Student Promise is a team effort. There's no I in team. This is a collaborative effort of a lot of people, but mainly Cuyahoga County, one of the greatest counties, I believe, in the country. And Robert Martin is the Director of Family and Children First Council and has supported and does so much I can't even describe to make all this happen for our young people. And please give Robert Martin on behalf of Cuyahoga County. Take a big bite, but Ms. Jane Wood from Ohio Guidestone, formerly Berea Children's School. Please come forward.
Hello, how are you? Up here, Dwayne Hurt and Chelsea Barnett. Good morning, everybody. My name is Jane Wood, and come on, Chelsea. And I'm bringing these guys up because these were the two, and including Mark Edwards, who really were involved this summer and hopefully throughout the future, you know, with Students of Promise. Bob had asked us to do the social emotional component for the Students of Promise, so we were able to meet with Mayfield Heights students this year and also Garfield Heights, and hopefully soon to be Warrensville. But Dwayne and Chelsea can talk a little bit about the program, and we want to thank you very, very much. We're very similar to Murtis Taylor and, you know, a community service, large mental health agency. So whatever needs are needed out there, please give us a call.
Okay, well, first of all, I'd like to applaud the children, the young men, because of their commitment. I also like to applaud Bob. Bob, this is so great, man. It really is from the heart, man. I really appreciate you not only bringing us aboard, but what you're doing. I mean, I could say so much, but I'm not going to do that. I'll go right into, you know, what we did. But first of all, one of my favorite quotes from Martin Luther King is, when we stop thinking about what matters, our lives begin to end. And our children matter, and if we don't do it, the streets will, but they will be influenced. You can pick and choose how you want that done. We came in from an social emotional standpoint, and we brought a lot of services. Chelsea is so great at art therapy. I'm actually going to use her for some work I'm doing at Case. But we came in, we met these young men, and we gave them some guidance from the standpoint of the social emotional. We got in touch with them, we built rapport. When you get a chance, when we break out, come talk to Jane about the ropes course. It's a fascinating unity building thing that these children did. Some of the pictures around I see. But we came in and we just gave these students us. And we made sure that we let them know that we are concerned about their futures. We understand the challenges in the community. I'm seeing it even more now that I'm interning out of Collinwood. I see the challenges, I understand the challenges, and we have to become better at supporting the children. We can't say they're bad kids. We have to come back and we have to bring them in and we have to show them, if you want to call them bad, we have to show them how to be good kids, great kids. But they all have potential, they all have desires, because if you talk to them, some of them are fascinating. Patrick here challenged me to a cook-off. We got a spaghetti cook-off coming. I mean, but these kids are fascinating. And we came in, we met with them, we showed them some things, they showed us some things, we experienced a lot together. We went to the Detroit Black History Museum, blew my mind back. If you haven't been there, you need to go there to really understand this thing. But these kids are definitely our future, and if we don't reel them back in, out there, we'll take them out. And so you parents that are here, thank you for coming. Continue to encourage your children. But we came in and we showed them a lot of things about themselves that they didn't know. And when they walk away, now I see shirt and ties, where in the summer, when they first came in, I was seeing the saggy jeans and the shirts out here. Now I see shirt and ties, and I see uniforms. So again, congratulations to you students. Parents, continue to encourage them, and we will be here. Ohio Guys, though, we will be here.
The principal of the building, who was so gracious to hosting and volunteer the space, the district, and so forth, she's here. So please keep her in our prayers, Mrs. Crum Glenn, and the linkage coordinator. Say hello to Maya, because she's not going to speak.
Hi.
This is Maya linkage coordinator here at Williamson High School. The linkage coordinator, and we'll, in your groups, we'll talk about that more. But they're the rudder, the sail, the wind. The driver to this model is that linkage coordinator, that significant adult in the school with the kids that works tirelessly throughout the day, and as you see, off school time to support our students. I think I did my housekeeping, and I'm only going to hear about how I'm off schedule, but without further ado, I think I wanted to do one thing. And because of this day, and I know this has something to do with our attendance, we lost a pillar in our community recently, and that's Ms. Connie Harper. Ms. Harper was the long-standing editor of the Call and Post, civic leader, civil rights advocate, and just before I bring up the Honorable Mayor Brad Sellers, if we could just have a moment of silence as this is her homecoming this morning.
Good morning. Good morning. I did not know that story. For those bring it full circle a little bit. Granville Waiters and I went to Ohio State University together, played basketball for Ohio State. I knew Granville was working down at the governor's office. I did not know he was working with your program. He and I were teammates in the Chicago Bulls together. So I say that to tell you that this world is a very small place. It's a very, very small place. And I look around the room here. I'm pleased to have been invited by Bob, and I got to think that it's very important for us to be in this room today, because I'm standing in the corner, I'm looking around, I'm surveying, and I see so many faces. I see the differential in this world being brought together on a very small platform. I look around and I see elected officials. I got to thank Councilman Pernell Jones for his efforts, continued efforts to support this initiative, because it is not limited to Warrensville and Maple and the surrounding communities. I'm out here on the grind every day doing my thing in Warrensville, trying to make this place better. But Warrensville is very symbolic of what's going on in Cleveland, Cleveland Heights, Aurora, Westlake, West Side, East Side. It's all the same. There are challenges out here for us, right? There's challenges out here in this society for us. So first of all, I want to thank, because I want to make sure I see the young people in the back, because students are promised about young people. It's about the future of this country. See, because the future of the country is not us. We're just caretakers. The future of the country are you young people. The young people, and you don't know it yet, because you can't see it. You can't see the vision. See, I grew up here, and you'll hear from a lot of great speakers today, and I will tell you, this thing is always evolving. This world is always evolving. Now, I grew up in Warrensville, happened to be the mayor of the city, went to high school here in this building, graduated here in 1981. I walk in this room and you talk about change, how this world changes, but stays the same building, same room, different though. So you sitting in what was formerly the auto mechanic shop. All these walls weren't here. This is where you came to fix your cars. Garage doors right there, right? And I say that because this room put a lot of people to work, taught them a trade, right? So I use that as a symbol of what this world is. But symbolizing change comes some effort. Because it's always about creating opportunity in our own communities for folks to have a better way of life. I will tell you, I was sitting here talking, and we're think about your own community. If we don't make an investment in young people, think about your community. There will be no future in your community. You can't take it with you. You have to turn it over. The issue is young people have so many challenges now, and I just heard you talking about this, so many challenges out here. They don't know what's at their fingertips. The difference between good and great, average and good, 6 degrees. That's all it is. How many saw the Cavalier game last night? Here, let me wind up. How many saw the game on Thursday? And then you left out on Thursday, you realized, how many had their head down thinking, oh, here we go? But then you saw the game last night, right? See, because in this world, you can't give up. See, I do double duty. I do double duty because all I know is how to work. Mayor of the day. How many knew I broadcast for the Cavaliers at night? I do that too. Not giving that up. Love that. Just as much as I love the day job. Because it's about change, enjoying yourself, learning, right? Creating an opportunity. And I say that because many times, young people, you don't think that you really have a shot out here. Sometimes you're out here in this world is such tough, in your little world, that you don't think you have a shot at this thing. I think I tell you that no matter where you come from, where you live, what your circumstances are, the world is wide open. I have seen it. Not only have I lived in this city, I've lived in a number of great cities in this town, in this country. Chicago, Detroit, Minneapolis, Seattle. I've lived across the world. I've lived in Paris, France, Tel Aviv, Israel, Spain, Athens, Greece. All because of a little game that I grew up playing. That really was given to me because some parent who worked double duty on Saturday mornings would make sure that the middle school was open at 8 o'clock in the morning because I had somewhere to go. And at 8 o'clock in the morning, we could play from Saturday morning, it's called Saturday Gym. You could play from 8 a.m. to noon, right? And that was somebody's idea that, let me take the kids off the street and give them something to do. But when I came in the building, it wasn't the building, it was the people in the building. Because they were older, wiser, more streetwise, and you get in this mix, and you get into a positive environment, because this is a positive environment, they will kick you some knowledge. And if you open your ears and listen long enough, you'll pick it up. And it'll keep you on the straight and narrow. And you take that and you build upon that to get better. And I tell you, you can go from where your circumstance is now, and if you don't believe me, from where you are now to the White House, if that's what you want to do. See, because before they used to tell you that, can't do that. Can't do that. I said, yes, you can. See, this world, if you let it, will pigeonhole you in a box. Tell you you're only one thing out here. I tell you, no, you're not. You are what your mind allows you to be, right? See, at the end of the day, I look around here, and there's so many great partnerships in here, and I see my friends from the Warrensville Library and Warrensville Y in the building, along with these other great organizations, the corporate industry out here as well, banking industry. It takes a group to open the door for everybody to run through. Now, when we do that, right, young people, you got to put the work in. Who wouldn't mind being LeBron James? All right, let me rephrase that. Who wouldn't mind having the money of LeBron James? So we changed that up, right? So here, I'm bringing this home for you. I'm bringing this home for you, right? See, a lot comes along with being LeBron James. A lot comes along with that. When I go to work every day, Akil, a lot comes with being the mayor of this town. A lot of expectations, right? So I got to have a high expectation myself. The one thing that you have to do, you have to be humble. You got to come in and put the work in. Even on your sluggish day. See, I teamed up with a guy for a long time. Teammate of mine, good teammate of mine, Michael Jordan. Put the work in every day. Wasn't an off day around here. I was telling Akil, because we go back such a long way. Walked in last night and I saw the Chicago Cavs game last night. It reminded me of what Chicago-Cleveland used to be, that rivalry. You got to put the work in out here. You put the work in out here, you're not guaranteed to succeed, but you got a greater chance of making it if you don't put the work in. See, you can't shortcut this thing. See, when I talk about that box that they'll put you in, they'll tell you that you're one-dimensional. You can only do one thing. You know how many times I heard that in my life? I'm going to do one thing. And I tell you, no, I don't believe that. So I'm an athlete by nature, right? You see it, right? I'm an athlete by nature, gift of God. In school, I was a 3.9 student. Student. And why was I that? Because my mother was like, oh, it's only one way around here, son. You want to do this basketball thing? You want to do this other thing. So a little motivation to keep me honest, right? And then once I got the hang of that, I said, okay, I'm gonna do this basketball thing. So you think 7 foot tall, right? You got it made out here. Do you know how many 7-footers out here? You can't see them on TV because they all look camouflage. Get up on them up close. Tall ones, right? Tall ones. So they'll put you in this box. They tell you, well, you can only play one position. My thought was, really? Because when I left here, I was almost 7 foot tall and weighed about 190 pounds. Skinny as that camera rod right there. That's how skinny I was. And I went to the historic Big Ten Conference to play basketball, which was a very rugged conference, right? Very rugged out here. They were like, remember I told you this box? Oh, he won't make it. They're gonna tear him apart. Well, I tell you, 2,000 points and 1,500 points later, I represented not only myself, but my community, my family, to the best of my ability. And from there, I left Ohio State University and was drafted in the first round of the NBA with the Chicago Bulls in 1986. So here, remember, my community from, that gym over there from, right? This school over here from, to Columbus, Ohio, from, to the NBA, from, here. Back here after 14 professional years, and had the opportunity to serve this community in a capacity that was outside athletics. Right? And they've been given the opportunity to serve this community in another capacity. And I tell you that because of this. This is all young people, no matter where you're from. Don't let anybody put any limits on you. There are no limits on me. And even when it gets tough, you got to knuckle down. Right? Because at the end of the day, they all going to say, you can't get it done. LeBron James hears it every day. You're not going to get it done, son. You're not. So at the end of the day, there's some intestinal fortitude with this thing. That's what the Students of Promise is all about. See, we see promise where you see nothing. We see hope where you see a cloud. We see strength where you think you're weak. we see a future where you have no idea. And I will tell you this to each and every one of you. If Barack Obama didn't prove anything to you, this world is wide open. See, there's a contingent of folk out here that don't want you to know that. This thing now is in play. This thing is in play. Parents, this thing is in play. Support system, this thing is in play. Councilman, this thing is in play. That's why we go to work, the elected officials in here, that's why we go to work every day, because we know it's in play. So when you think, and everything in this world is not athletics, it's not entertainment, that's what they let you see. You know, some real money being made in this town. And not by the athletes. It's not by the entertainers. It's by your next door neighbor, you don't even know it. How many here live on the street that got a vacant house? You look at that vacant house as an eyesore, right? Somebody riding down the street looking at the house as an opportunity. And they say, what kind of opportunity is this thing? And that's why I'm glad we're in the house of learning, because all the skills that you need are in the house of learning. Yes. Now, as adults, we need to make sure that we all make sure that in the house of learning, that really gets accomplished. But I go back to this house, right, that you look as an eyesore. The way it's structured out here today, you can pick that house up for a couple $100 in the right place. Now, you might need to put $15,000, $20,000 into rehabbing it so you can sell it for more. And you look at yourself, well, I don't have that money. Well, let me tell you how the big boys do it out here. They don't use their money. And if they do put their money in, it's only a little bit of their money. And they go to 10 of their cousins, put 500 in for me. Now, you have to scrape for the 500, right? But you put it in, you create the pool, right? You create the pool, and then you pool those resources together, and then you go ahead and do the work, rehab the house. So you put 20 in, you bought it for 200, put 20 in it, so you got 20,200 in it. You sold it for 45,000. Paid a commission fee. Let's say you made 18,000 at the end of the day, right? And there were 10 of you. So everybody walked out of here with $1,800. And you say, well, I made $1,800, $2,000. Yeah, but if you do that 10 times, do the math. Do a bigger scale, do the take. So it's not always about what you do, it's how you learn to work with your neighbor together. And your neighbor might live in Warrensville, they may live in Maple. You may meet them in this meeting. May live on the west side. Shoot, I still got friends in Tel Aviv, Israel that I talk to. And they're like, what's going on? Is there opportunity over there? Teammates that I played with that had a ton of money, you don't even talk to. And we'll get together now because you're so busy doing your thing. But if somebody had told you a long time ago that, pull that together, you can make some things happen around here, right? So I keep coming back to LeBron James. LeBron James is not the greatest basketball player in the world. He is. Let me tell you what LeBron James is. LeBron James is one of the greatest businessmen out here. Him and his little crew from around the way. Do you know him and his little crew running the whole thing over there? He's some streetwise guys. Streetwise guys that have done what? Kept their ears open, minds open, and now understand how to work this thing. And have leveraged the thing that they bring to the table and done a tremendous amount of effort. Do you know he was a initial share investor in Beats by Dre? Yes. Do you know how much he got paid on Beats by Dre? $300 million when he sold his share. These cats are from Akron. Not nothing against Akron. These cats are from little bitty Akron, right? From the projects. Here's a man that left here not knowing a thing, knowing a little bit. That 4-year stint in Miami, it was like he went to college. He learned something. And that's what this is for you out here. You're learning something here. And you're not going to get it tomorrow. But you stay in this thing long enough, each and every one of you, each and every one of you, each and every one of you, stay in this thing long enough, this your show. This young man is an example, just an example. It's a visible example, because there are many examples of it. A visible example of what you can do when you don't let your circumstances define who you are. No box. Like I told you, they tell me you can't, I say I can. They say, why? Because I want to. At the end of the day, you got to believe in yourself. Parents, I'm the father of 4. Your job is to make sure that you give them the opportunity. That you do go the extra mile, even when we're tired. I'll leave here today, do my thing today, run to see one at a basketball game later, run another one down to Columbus later, come back tonight, even when you're tired. Because that's the greatest gift that we have in this room, these young people. And if we don't foster in an environment that allows them to be successful, we can't win. And I will tell you, our job as parents and adults out here is to make sure that continued investment that is required is done by us. They have no idea. But you got to take joy in the fact that you're going to see somebody at this group being successful. That means your efforts went for naught. So to the students of promise, I tell you this, it's exactly that. You got a whole lot of promise out here. It's not the uniform, it's the soul inside the suit. That's what we're chasing out here. This thing is about this. You better believe it, that it can be done. I will tell you that it will be done, it must be done, and I will also tell you this. No limits. No limits. No limits on yourself shall be placed. And at the end of the day, it's hard work that's required. Because where is it done? In the house of learning. In the house of learning is where you're learning. Let me ask you this. See, because in the rest of this world out here, in the places that really have resources and affluency, this thing is basic. How many here know how to balance a checkbook, students? I mean, how many really know how to balance a checkbook? Really? Yeah, you got class in, but do you know how to balance a checkbook? All right, so I will tell you this, right? And this is to the adults in the room. This is to the adults in the room, not to them. All right? Because it's in theory to them. These are the basics. In order to make it, you got to know how to manage some money out here, right? Whether you got $5 or $500 or $5,000, you better know how to work it, right? All right? So, parents, business people, educators, I can't teach you when you're 18. It's done then. It's over. It's over. If you're coming through here and the senior looking for that, it's over. You don't have enough time. You don't have enough experience. We say, well, the personal finance class is not important. Why? Because I don't have no money. So how am I going to show you I don't have any money? About that. Not what I have today. It's what I got coming my way. See, if I do the right thing, go to the class, get the grades, I'm going to avail myself to some work, right? And the little things that Johnny is learning over in Westlake, you got to learn it. And then guess what? We take the mask off. And everybody on equal footing. That's what they don't want you to know. That in this world, everybody's on equal footing, right? So there's certain keys, parents, that we have to make sure that we stay in place. So I want to thank Councilman Pernell Jones for his continued efforts and support and seeing the vision, because somebody at the top got to see this thing. Kids, I want to thank you guys for coming out. seeing this thing. You're going to learn some great things today. You're going to hear some beautiful people today with a lot of wealth of information. But parents parents, support systems, friends, I got to thank you. Because if you worked hard all week, you could have slept it in on Saturday. Right? Look, like my 11-year-old, when I always say something crazy, the first thing she said, right? So I'm gonna tell you this, keep fighting the fight. It is also worthwhile. Thank you very much.
And for 10 years, I taught referral parenting with parents who are at risk of losing custody of their children. And as a mom myself, it's just real important for us to do practical things because I like to go home with something that I can actually use and not have to remember a bunch of facts, you know. So before we start, I wanted to know from the parents, is there, or anyone in the audience, is there any particular thing that you wanted to get out of this workshop? You got up on a Saturday and you came here. Is there anything specific that you just want to walk away? If I leave with this one piece of information, it was worth me getting up on a Saturday. Anything specific? Yes, sir.
How to get teenagers to open up.
How to get them to open up? Okay. Anything else? And that's perfect then, because, and if you think of something else, let me know along the way, because that's where Can You Hear Me Now comes into play, okay? This is your Trusto Survival Kit. So with this little kit, it has the ingredients to handle any particular situation in your life as a parent. So you have a Band-Aid in there to remind you that there's a way to heal all wounds. And we'll talk about how to communicate to make that happen. And a lot of behaviors come from past hurts. A button to remember to button your mouth sometime and listen to them. And in my parenting kit, I have a button this big because I have a big mouth. I talk a lot and blah, 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 blah. And sometimes if you stop and listen, and one of the things that I learned is that, have you all ever heard the fact that when someone is talking to you, if you're in your mind trying to figure out what you're going to say as soon as they stop, you're not listening to them. You see, because really? No, because see, while they're talking, I can't. You got the answer. I'm gonna check you. Because you didn't wash your dishes yesterday. Blah 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 blah. That's what. So how can you be hearing what they're saying if you're thinking? So, and that's it. I'm still working on it. But taking the time when anybody is talking, if you really give them your full attention, you're not thinking about what you're gonna say. And that's another reason. What one of my parents taught me was 10 seconds of clarity. 10 seconds of clarity, so after they finish talking, you can just stop for 10 seconds. You don't have to respond right away. See, we get caught up in like, yeah, I have to, sometimes you don't have to say anything. You could just say, okay, Spanky, and keep it moving and walk away. But we think that we have to respond to every little thing, and we don't. Just take 10 seconds. One of the things I teach with, I tell people use water. Water is a great equalizer. I use it for anger management too. Because, again, we were born in a waterbed womb. The earth is 2/3 water. Our bodies are 2/3 water. When somebody says something to you crazy, and I teach them, keep water with you, or if you're in school, sometimes the teachers are not right. So you just say, excuse me, can I please get a sip of water? That gives you that 10 seconds of clarity to drink the water, calm you down, but it gives you a moment to walk away from the situation where you don't say something that you'll regret later on. If you keep water with you, so you can't keep it in school, so like outside you keep a water bottle, when somebody get ready to say something, you would normally punch them in the face or, say something very rude or whatever, you could just say, okay. And then you realize that, and then if you want to respond, but you had that 10 seconds of clarity. The rope. You have a little rope in your kit. How many people have ever felt like you were at the end of your rope? Just tie a knot at the end and hang on in there. It's not the end of the world. And a lot of times if you think back, and that's why I like journaling too, because if you think back, there were many times that you thought you didn't know what was going to happen, you didn't know what to do, it's the end of the world, but some kind of way you got through it.
All because people were excited about what? The possibility of what?
Championship.
Winning. That's what they're excited about. Just the thought of winning knocks you off your feet. It leaps you in the air. Just the thought of it. LeBron James, I don't like that LeBron James. Don't like him. He left Cleveland. Liked him before he left though. See, that's how people act. Oh, LeBron James, the witness. But then because he chose to do what anybody who works in America can do, he chose to go work some other place, like so many people do. And he went and worked someplace else, and people got mad at him for him doing what the very people who are mad at him are about. They don't stay at the same job, they go to different jobs. That's his right as an American citizen, but still people got upset. Okay, so he goes away, he does that, and burning his jersey, doing all that emotions, doing all that stuff. But then, sorry about that. But then, as soon as he announced what, y'all? As soon as he announced it, as soon as the Cleveland public got a whiff of the thought, how did the people start talking? Come on, y'all, let's go. We got to work together right here at 11:20.
They jumped on the bandwagon.
They jumped on the bandwagon. They reached out with open arms, wanting him back. Because everybody really inside themselves want to win. Everybody wants to win. We are born with the will to do better. Statistically, what happens to young people in the 3rd and 4th grade, especially young men, especially young African American men and Hispanic young men, school now is a chore. I don't want to go to school. That enthusiasm now has waned. It's not there the same way. Tell me why isn't it there the same way? What has happened? Yes.
They've been honored.
No, just go and say it.
They've been beat down.
They've been beat down. Tell me how they've been beat down. Now, this ain't the only person. Now, what we have to do in here is talk, y'all. We got to talk. Peer pressure.
Constant criticism.
Constant criticism.
Instead of being encouraged to win, they're being discouraged.
Being discouraged, yes.
More responsibilities at home,
More,
something to do.
they're seeing things in the home front.
Also, there's less, for me, there was less involvement of the parents in the home with respect to the education. It's as if they didn't care about the school.
Dropping the ball.
Dropping the ball. So again, we're aware of what happens to these young people. And without a good education, in America and the world, it's going to be real hard to win. So what happens is you start to have, that's why the 9th grade, am I right, Mr. Ivory? The 9th grade, it's close to 50% after that of dropout rate in high schools. What can make a difference in all of that? Let me get past this right here. When we understand that we are family, whether it's mama and daddy in the house, or just mama in the house, or daddy in the house, when we understand that we are family, and it takes family. So I heard some people say drop the ball, and they were talking about parents. Parents can't be dropping the ball. You dropping the ball, you're being selfish. There's going to be 3 things I'm going to ask you to do. Only 3. Not 4. Not 10. Just what? 3. I'm going to ask you to do everything you see me do. I'm going to ask you to say what I say after I say it. And then I'm going to ask you to be, the most important thing is to be big, positive, and powerful. Okay? Say it again. I would like you to do everything you see me do. Say what I say after I say it, and then be what?
Big, powerful,
Positive and
powerful.
be what?
Big, positive, and
And powerful. Now you got some schools and stuff like that where students come in, they're big, negative, and powerful. They'll come in and mess a room up. They don't care. They come in, because I'm here now, I'm just going to disrupt things. I see the teacher, no respect. Be big, negative, and powerful. But if you start to get young people to be big, positive, and powerful, you can start to overcome some of that. So, now what you're going to do after you do it, you're going to feel better. It will have nothing to do with me. It will have nothing to do with who? You. See, I'm saying if y'all paying attention. Have nothing to do with me, but it'll have everything to do with science and math. You're going to feel better after you do it. Everybody say yeah, yeah?
Yeah.
If everyone would stand up, please. Now, might not be able to hear the music as much as I would like for you to hear it, but let's do our best. I'll go beyond the music. Okay, in fact, I'm not going to use the music because that's not loud enough. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Do everything you see me do. Say what I say after I say it, and be big, positive, and powerful. Yes, young man. Sure, I can. Absolutely, young man. Absolutely. Is that good enough now? Thank you so much. Okay, here we go. Everybody say yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah. Say oh yeah. Oh yeah. It's not acceptable. I said, I asked everybody, and you agreed. I said, do everything you see me do. Say what I say after I say it, and be big, positive, and powerful. Some of you are being miniature. You're like, here. No, I didn't ask for what, Texaurus or whatever the dinosaur. I didn't ask for that. I said, be big. Be big. Here we go again. And then I gave you an important component that after you do it, you're going to feel better. How can somebody tell you that you're going to feel better and that you can feel better and you ain't going to jump on that? Here we go. Everybody say yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah. Say oh yeah. Oh yeah. I feel good. I feel good. Just like I should. Just like I should. My hair is good. My hair is good. My eyes are good. My eyes are good. My nose is good. My nose is good. My cheeks are good. My cheeks are good. My teeth are good. My teeth are good. My chin is good. My chin is good. My skin is good. My skin is good. My lips are good. My lips are good. My ears are good. My ears are good. My face is good. My face is good. My neck is good. My neck is good. My shoulder is good. My shoulder is good.
My chest is good.
My chest is good.
My waist is good.
My waist is good. My hips are good. My hips are good. My hips are good. My hips are good. My legs are good. My legs are good. My knees are good. My knees are good. My feet are good. My feet are good. I'm good. I'm good. Ask somebody. Ask somebody. Say it, ask somebody. Ask somebody. I'm a genius. I'm a genius. I'm smart. I'm smart. I can read. I can read. I can write. I can write. I can add. I can add.
Subtract.
Subtract. Multiply. Multiply. And divide. And divide. I'm bad. I'm bad. I'm bad. I'm bad. Not the bad bad. Not the bad bad. Not the bad bad. Not the bad bad. I'm the good bad. I'm the good bad. If somebody try to fight me, I'm not gonna sweat, or get upset, I'll find my teacher, I'm gonna reach her, and let her know, I'm not gonna get in trouble. I said I'm not gonna get in trouble. You better read, baby, read. 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 Dot. Now, keep them up. Now, when you come through on the words that just came out of your mouth, this represents the letter V. You're going to have a victorious day, a day of victory. All because you came through on speaking powerful words to yourself and then coming through on those words. And 1, 2, 3, slowly bring your hands down. And when you bring your hands down, you're standing in what's called your royalty. What is it called?
Good morning. I'm not a part of the official program, but I am a part of Closing the Achievement Gap and part of the young people's lives in this community. How many people in here this morning are from live in Warrensville Heights? Surprised, aren't you? No, I lived in Beechwood throughout my career here as a member of the Cleveland Browns and all the other things I've been doing. And a few years ago, Austin Carr, who grew up with me in Washington, D.C., I bet you all didn't know that either.
Did not know that.
Yeah. We played, Austin Carr and I played on the playgrounds of Washington, D.C. together, played basketball together, and think what the odds of this are. For both of these young people to wind up in the same city,
Yes, sir.
playing professional sports,
Yes.
after being together as 12 and 13-year-olds.
That's right.
How amazing is that?
That is.
That's nothing but God, though.
That's right.
So I decided to come along with him, and we moved into Warrensville Heights. And so this is my community now. And when I was playing football, people that saw me in communities didn't see the athletes much and were real excited about seeing us. But if you see me in your community now, unfortunately, it's probably not a good idea because of the work that I do now. I'm president of the Cleveland Peacemakers Alliance. And the Cleveland Peacemakers Alliance is a collaboration of organizations that have come together to deal with youth violence, gangbanging, shootings, retaliatory shootings, murders, you name it, and that's what we do. That's what I run today. And the men and women that work with me are called violence interrupters. And they are what we call culturally appropriate messengers. What that really means is that you don't want to mess with them, because they have a skill set, a special kind of skill set that allows them to do what they do. We can come into a community like this, and we can do what's called gang assessment, and we can come away from here and we can tell you what gangs are here, who's involved, who the shot callers are, what Little Johnny's doing, and basically why they're not getting the education that they deserve and need. Because Bob Ivory and I share one thing about this business of education, which Akil has talked about so eloquently, is that if you're going to win, you're going to have to educate yourself.
That's right.
And what we're trying to do is we're trying to make it easier for you to get educated. And I know for a fact, and the research tells me, that you cannot get a proper education if you're intimidated or you fear
That's
or
right.
you've been coerced by members of gangs and you have peer pressure on you that will not allow you to live your life the way you should be able to live it. And you can't get an education under those kinds of circumstances. And you youngsters with those jackets on, you're ninth graders, right? Eighth? Okay, okay. We're going to make sure that you get every opportunity that you deserve to get an education. We're not going to allow gangs to recruit you and to convert you or to coerce you or to bully you into doing anything that you don't want to do. That's what we do. And we are holding discussions right now to work with this community so that while you're trying to do your very best inside the classroom, We will help you in every way outside the classroom.
Yes,
We
sir.
will be your big brothers.
Yeah, yeah.
And that anytime that you have issues on the outside and in these communities, you'll be able to have a format where you can seek help. And you can go to someone and say, you know what, I'm being pressured by
Yes,
these
sir.
cats over here.
Yes,
They want
sir.
me to do this. They want me to sell some drugs. They want me to do this. They want me to do that. No, we're not gonna have it.
Very good,
We're
sir.
gonna stand up.
There you
Because there's something called moral courage.
That's right, sir.
You've got to have it in your community.
Yes, sir.
And this stuff about snitching, you're
Yes.
gonna hear us tell you what the true definition.
That's right.
You're gonna hear
Absolutely.
real gangsters tell you what snitching is.
That's right. Absolutely.
Because we're gonna have an orientation assembly in these schools, and they're gonna really tell you what. See, you can't sit by in your house and see someone shoot your neighbor or rob your neighbor while you're looking out the window, and the police come and they ask you, who did that? I don't know. Why? Because you're afraid.
That's right. That's right.
There's no reason to be afraid. And we're going to make sure that you get the proper support so that we can have a community that people can live.
That's right.
I want you all to grow up. I want you to win. Like Mr. Marshall said, I want you to win. I want you to compete. I want you to understand what it's like to win. I want you to go where I've been.
That's
I
right.
want you to be able to meet the President of the United States.
Yes, sir.
Despite where you come from.
That's right.
They talked about where I came from. I came from a place in D.C. Southeast called Anacostia, called the murder capital of the
That's
world.
right. That's right, brother.
And you go to D.C. and you see all that stuff. That's the known power center of the universe.
That's right.
But you go across that bridge on Pennsylvania Avenue. There's a place over there, the Anacostia River. You go across that in the southeast. You're in a hellhole like nothing
That's
you've
right.
ever seen before.
That's
That's
right.
where I grew up in the projects over there. All my brothers are dead. I'm alive
Mm-hmm.
because I chose not
That's right, brother.
to be a casualty. I chose not to be a victim.
That's
I
right.
chose to be victorious.
That's right.
Okay? So, I'm not a preacher,
You're doing good, though.
but I'm happy to be a part of, anytime you have a platform, you have men like this, men like that. These are the men that will run toward the fire. They won't run away.
Yeah, yeah.
And so when you see us, and when you need help, you seek these kind of men. You seek these kind of strong black men who believe in you and the future that's there for you.
Yeah, yeah.
And I look forward to working with Bob Ivory. This is a tremendous program.
Yes, sir.
This man was in San Francisco. We came together about 5 years ago, Closing the Achievement Gap and the Cleveland Peacemakers Alliance. JFK was off the hook. They were doing stuff down there in that community that threw his hands up and said, Reggie, we need you. We came there and we put that place on lockdown. And then he left. He went to San Francisco, put a program in out there. Do you know I couldn't get rid of him? He was calling or texting Reggie, how you all do this? Who do I get in touch with out here? I had to call Jim Brown, to call somebody he knew up in San Francisco so he could call. That's called, see, that's winning.
That's right.
That's how you win. That's how you make use of this. Use this for something, as my coach used to say, use this for something other than a hat rack. So I'm happy to be a part of this. We're going to be in this community, and we're going to work with you. And at the end of the day, we're going to see you graduate, go on to college, and have a productive life. That's what you're entitled to. That's what you deserve. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Before we get started, we have to have what we call some definitions so that everybody will understand what we're talking about. And when we titled our book Style Over Substance, we had to make sure when we talked about style, everybody knew what we was talking about. So style is the mere expression of an individual exhibiting all the right things in a superficial way. Style does not require individuals to process information because information is processed for them. We got to move our young people, and when I'm talking about that grade, that age group, that's 14 and 19, part of our problem is, it's not only 14 and 19, it used to be 19. Now it's going to 30 and 35. They just want to be about style. But that's style. How do I move? All right. Oh, substance, okay. What we're concerned about is substance. And that's why you as parents are so important. Parents, teachers, administrators, community folks, because you can help them get the substance. Substance is that essential character of one being that provides one with the ability. That is so important, the ability to process information and react to it in a positive manner in order to address life's aspirations and goals. One of the things that bother me most of all when I work with young people, when I say, well, what you gonna be doing, like 5, 10 years from now? Most of them say, I ain't never thought that far. So guess what they're really saying, parents? If they ain't thought that far, they think they're gonna be still living with you. So we used to ask parents, is that what you want? And that's why parents join forces with us when we begin to talk about some things I'm gonna talk about. And keep this in mind, the 10-year plan. Now, first of all, our young people's form a subculture. A little different from what we were about. But we had to look at what was some of the components of the subculture. The first one was music. Do you know in 1979, MTV came on? And you know what MTV did that was different from everything that ever happened? They played videos. They showed the singers, they start making videos. And those videos start doing what? First, they came out there was halfway, I ain't gonna say halfway decent, but if you take a look at what MTV did in 1979, and you take a look at our videos now, and how they're portraying them, something is wrong. In raising responsible adults, I want you to just take a look at this. We also begin to look at how involved are our parents. Now, I'm really telling you, I'm giving parents a lot of credit. When your kids are in elementary school, you're all involved with them. Know their teachers, know their friends, even, PTO and everything. By middle school, it's falling off. Falling off tremendously. And you know why? They can now comb their own hair, they can now use their own phone. Why are you on your phone? Why are you on your phone? This ain't time for your phone. All right, we don't want to talk to them no more. Because guess what? They don't want to talk to us. By the time they get to high school, you know what, that is way too much credit that I'm giving parents. And you know why? The only reason I'm giving that kind of credit, because if they're involved with sports, then you'll go to the sports activity. That's a shame. Our kids are crying out at that age group more than any other time. I need you, I need you. But guess what? We're tired of them. We wish they would go somewhere else. We wish they weren't boring sometimes. That is not true, you all. It's not true. But you know what happens at that age? It becomes to challenge us. Because they're now asking us things that we don't know. And we're embarrassed. They're now beginning to do some subtraction and addition. Guess what? They now know how old you was when they were born. They're now beginning to ask questions that hurt our feelings. Like, you keep telling me to go to school, did you go? Our kids are not, we just wish they would go away. But they're not going to go away. They're going to be there. And I don't care what we do, they're going to be there. So why not just buckle down and be as honest as you possibly can? We don't even know what to talk to them about anymore. But don't worry, before you leave here, you're going to know that. Because I'm going to give you a piece of paper that's going to show that.
Hello, my name is Zacchaeus Knight. I'm the senior class president at the Gidding Academy, and we are members of Urban League of Greater Cleveland, Project Ready. We would like to thank students of Primus for this opportunity to come and represent and support you all. And we would like to thank Urban League Project Ready for the support and the positive influence you have on us. You all are great influences on our lives and help us get ready to go out here and captivate the world.